we're actually in a building that was one of the first used for sunlight therapy by Dr Auguste Rollier. Rollier was originally a surgeon, and in his time children who had tuberculosis were often operated on to remove the tuberculosis. And he instead decided to use sunlight to try and improve their resistance to the disease and avoid them having to have the surgery. And he started here in 1903, and that was the year that Niels Finsen, the Danish doctor, won the Nobel Prize for medicine for being the first person to treat tuberculosis with sunlight and do so successfully and scientifically. So from that point on, there was science behind sunlight therapy, and that's what Rollier was basing his work on. He opened up the front of the building so he could get onto the balcony, and he was, I think, the first doctor since the Roman Empire to put solaria on the roofs of buildings for health. The Romans, for example, they worshipped the sun, they built solar buildings for heat, and they used sunlight as a medicine. And they had right to sunlight legislation, which we don't have. Very few countries in certain Western Europe have right to sunlight legislation. Engineers were put in charge of medicine, in effect, in Rome, which is why they had aqueducts, which is why they had sewers, which is why they had lavatories, why they had all the things they had, because it was considered an engineering responsibility.